And hello, everybody. Welcome on in to another episode of the Crunchy Conservative Podcast. I'm Adam Thompson. Joining me, as always, is the co-host of the Crunchy Conservative Podcast, all the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Weston
We're gonna call it
Craigie.
COVID soda.
COVID soda. Yeah, I forgot we were going to call it that. But welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've done a podcast, and it was kind of a big break between our last episode and the episode before that. So we apologize for all these breaks, but life's been busy, and sometimes you just have to put things on pause to kind of get things back in line in order so we can provide this content for you guys at home. Plus, then Christmas came around, so we got to do at least our Christmas and New Year's episode. And I went off on a vacation for 10 days. Weston, I don't know what you did.
I went off on vacation for 10 days too. Went to South Dakota.
Oh, that's right. You were here in South Dakota, and unfortunately, the timing was just not good enough for us to kind of hook up there. So. And hang out. So it's been a while since we've been able to physically hang out, but of course, I have returned to the state of South Dakota, and I was welcomed with some cold weather. I mean,
don't want to hear you talking about cold weather.
You got to remember, I was in a place that was 60s, 50s, and 60s for 10 days. Like,
you're still in a place that's 50s and 60s for 10
days. This is the first time, but there's snow on the ground, and usually where, like, in San Diego there was no snow. The worst it got was it was just raining, and there was one day it was like in the 40s, like, and then it warmed up in the afternoon, and it was nice. It was just really nice to be there. Enjoyed myself, got to relax after a pretty stressful week prior to me leaving, and now I'm ready to talk about everything that's going on here. So, Weston, how was your family? How was your Christmas and New Year's?
Good. It was fun. We got together over at my parents' house in Sturgis, celebrated there, got back here, got back to work, and then we all got COVID.
Yes, and that's our first topic of tonight's episode is the Omicron variant. So just for everybody at home to know that I had tested positive for COVID on Saturday. I started feeling sick on Friday, and it just got worse. When I woke up Saturday, I ended up buying an at-home test. My dad was luckily home, and I called him and asked him to go buy me an at-home test because the only time I could get a test that day was at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I couldn't do that. I had to make decisions prior to that time about what kind of the weekend was going to look like, and had to call my job. Like, I was like, I'm not waiting until 3:30 to get a COVID test, and I'm going to take an at-home test just because, like, might as well. Like, this is probably the best option. And
wow.
First day, yeah. Like, well, I mean, what?
We just all the testing sites are like booked out a week in advance over here.
Yeah, but see, like, I had an event on Saturday that I was supposed to set up for Friday, so I needed to make decisions early and start figuring out a plan. And so I took a test on Friday. I came back negative, which was very interesting. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just something, I'll take some Tylenol. I'll try and kind of just rest and see if I can sleep this off. Didn't sleep it off, got worse. Took another test Saturday morning, came back positive. So I've been treating it as a positive. I've been home since basically Friday. I have not walked out this door really since Friday, which is unfortunate. But it's all right. I've been able to get some stuff done. Like, I haven't felt too bad today. Today's been the first day. Luckily, my other job that I do, I can work from home. So shout out to my boss there. He's helped me out there. He brought over my equipment, and I was able to work from home. So I was pretty happy about that. So it's interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of the weirdest thing I've ever felt, for sure. Um, Weston, for yourself, you think you have COVID?
I do. My wife tested positive, so just a little marker there.
Hmm.
But I feel fine. So either I don't have it yet, or I'm asymptomatic, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it's gonna. I'm kind of happy that I'm almost through this. Like today's the first day I felt normal since Friday, so I'm feeling much better, which is a good sign. And really, this whole talk about the fact that the CDC shortened the guidelines from 10 days to 7 to 5 days. And a lot of people are like, well, that's just corporations because the airline companies were lobbying for that and everything. But
I
like
wish.
I'm already feeling like the upswing of this. Like I'm already feeling better. So in like probably by Thursday, I'll be pretty much ready to go anywhere, Like I don't want to risk going too early back, so if Thursday's a good mark, go back to work the following week. I do things Sunday through Wednesday here, so I'll be good.
Yep. I I'm out until the 21st.
11 days?
We're still doing the whole 10 days. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm not even sure what the policy is yet. I haven't been told the policy or anything, but because I'm feeling better and I could probably test negative
Hmm.
by Wednesday, like, so it's, I don't know. But while in California, this is something that I find very hilarious and interesting. Um, so, you know how California politicians gave this whole stink about vaccine passports, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like they wanted everybody in the state to check the vaccine passport, which okay. I mean, that was being seen in New York and whatever. So while out there, I had my passport with me. Like I'm not somebody who's just gonna deliberately break the law like that, like just for to feel good. I'm gonna respect their law. Like that's
Mhm.
that's that's just how you have to act sometimes and just get over it. And I was never asked once in California for my vaccine passport. Not once. When I got on the plane, nope. When I got off the plane, nope. When any restaurant we went into, nope. Anything that we did, nope.
That's
So,
nice.
like,
So it's not like Cook County over with Chicago and all the surrounding suburbs. Then.
exactly. Like like people, the only thing that was happening in San Diego that you had to obviously do was wear a mask, which we pretty much did everywhere. Like,
Hmm.
like, yeah. To all those people who still think this COVID thing is not real, it's real. It's
It's
just,
real.
it's real. It's just, it's a,
It's not a
there's
time to
a,
get totalitarian over.
yeah, yeah. We're like, really, we're shutting, like, I get the original COVID in 2020, but this Omicron variant, man, like, it sucks.
Hmm.
It really sucks. You know, I hope nobody else gets this crap because it knocks you down for a few days. But I'm not like wanting to go full blown mandates here. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like we might be getting a potential if OSHA doesn't pass through a
Mm-hmm.
vax mandate here in Minneapolis with at least restaurants.
That'll be very interesting to see how that comes together here. When does that decision come?
Probably after the Supreme Court decision.
Okay, so that'll be very interesting. So we're gonna keep track of that this week for sure. Who knows when they'll come to a decision though?
No idea. Uh, I'm definitely regretting voting yes on ballot question one already. which was a strong mayor, weak city council instead of equal power.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I
Eh,
guess I asked for this,
yeah.
but I voted for someone else for mayor. So
See, Weston. See, you did it to yourself.
I, you know what?
You can
Yes,
admit
but
it. You
no.
can admit it.
I
Like,
did, but no.
I mean, I understand why you would say yes, but then you got to remember what city you're in.
Yes, but no.
All right. Some things. What else has happened this week, Weston? Um, Minneapolis burned down at all? I can't remember.
No. But we
No,
did get our first homicide of 2022.
that didn't take long.
And we tied our Murderapolis total of 97 homicides last year. So, yay.
Yay. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers to all the families in Boulder, Colorado. That massive, massive fire.
God,
It,
I totally forgot
what
about
a what a sight there. We were watching that on TV, and like for those, for me, I've been to. I love Denver. The Denver area is a lot. Like it is a beautiful area, and that fire just bad, pretty bad. So thoughts and prayers to all those families. I hope we can find out the reason why that happened. Weston, you keep cutting in and out on your video feed.
I'm having the same problem with you. Is it like just freezing my camera or is it,
Yeah, freezing your camera.
what the heck? Okay. It might be connection issues. Although I
All
have
right.
strong connection right now. Weird.
All right, we're good, I think, now. So, what, but one of the big things that I think a lot of people are now starting to ask themselves here in this COVID era, um, is the hospital numbers because Dr.
Mhm.
Fauci has said some very interesting things I kind of want to break down and kind of theorize a little bit tonight, because it really makes the question be: Are hospitals misleading the public? And Dr. Fauci he didn't infer this, but he kind of said it without really saying it. It's that um, he basically, in my opinion, the way, because I can't remember word for word. You actually have the article, Weston,
Yep.
don't you?
So it sounds like he was getting more to the point of you can't read how bad this pandemic is being by just the incidental numbers of COVID 19 patients in hospitals, which is being reported as the total number of hospitalizations of COVID 19. But rather, it should be the ones that are hospitalized with severe, so probably like the ICU numbers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The exact quote is from this article from Reason. Uh, Anthony Fauci is right to distinguish COVID 19 infections, which are exploding, from severe disease, which is not. And the exact quote is here: routine inpatient screening, common or mandated in many facilities, may identify incidental cases, the researchers noted. If hospitalizations are used as a metric for policy decision making, patients hospitalized for the management of COVID 19 disease should be distinguished from patients who are hospitalized and incidentally found to be infected with SARS CoV 19. So it sounds like they're saying don't take the recent spike to be only a recent spike. If things aren't getting worse with severe infections, maybe that's not reason to change course.
Mm-hmm. And one of the big things is that like there's no distinction right now. And like you said, somebody could come in with a broken leg, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and when he comes in, he'll get tested for COVID.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he has COVID. Well, now he's in the hospital for COVID.
Or even in this situation, like say he came in because his leg was broken and he's bleeding internally severely,
Yeah.
goes up to the ICU bed, and I'm gonna guess by what this Reason article is saying and what the experts are saying here, that he would be listed among the intensive care unit COVID patients, even though he's not a severe infection COVID and may just incidentally have COVID 19 while he's in the ER with internal leg bleed.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of just nuts right now. And and
Well, it's leading
really,
to a lot of decisions that aren't great. I mean, you got Cook
yeah.
County doing it with a third of workers or a third of their population not being able to do anything besides, I think, going out to get food from stores. So they can't go to
Hmm.
work, they can't go to school, they can't do anything normal without being vaccinated. That's about a third of their population.
Yeah,
The
for
second
sure.
most populous county in America.
So one of the I would say probably the hardest things to kind of think about in terms of this, like we've seen basically Republicans for a long time now, really since 2020, towards the end of 2020 into 2021, was we need to learn how to live with this now. Like at this
Mhm.
point, this thing is just so far, this thing has mutated. Like we know how this goes and what and we've heard it from the experts, so called, that this is going to be like the flu, it's somewhat, and it's going to be here seasonally, like, so it's just part of life, I guess, now. And we're seeing the not good response of lifting everything back and getting everything back going and just being, just getting the vaccine out and everything, because we're seeing, honestly, at this point, doesn't even matter.
Mhm. Well,
It's
I hope I'm getting
it's
this right too. But it's if I remember this right, the Spanish flu back in 1819 or 1918 was the first ever strain of H1N1. It was super deadly, was killing,
mm-hmm,
I believe, a lot of young people, which is really weird for the flu. Versus old people were fine with it, so it was killing a lot of young people. Eventually evolved over 3 year, or it has evolved since. It's still not a great strain. I think it's still one of the more severe ones. We've had the swine flu epidemic of or pandemic of 2009, so it still pops up
mm-hmm.
very severe,
Yep.
but it's something we've learned to live with since those pandemics, the 19 or the
I don't remember
1918
vac
one and the 2009.
I don't remember vaccine mandates for those either, FYI.
They so I don't believe there was one. There was one for smallpox
Well,
that
smallpox, that was.
in certain areas, but it wasn't a vaccine mandate. They just could fine you if you didn't get the vaccine, which is weird.
Almost a
So you
mandate.
didn't.
That's.
It's a mandate, but you weren't forced to not do anything. You just were
Mhm.
fined if you didn't take it. And it was about $500 worth, I think. Not 500 then, 500 equivalent to today's currency. Because 500 then would be a lot.
Mm. So back to the point at hand, though, with COVID. It which direction should are we heading? Like, I think a lot of red states are perfectly fine now. I think a lot of people are just like whatever. But you're seeing places like Covasota. um, so,
I think
but
we're going to head back to beginning a pandemic lockdown or even
yeah,
to election day lockdown stuff. It's pacing that way. They're looking at the overall numbers, not severe infections, not deaths. They're looking at the overall numbers skyrocketing and being like, well, we can't have that happen. So let's just lock everyone back in a cage and go back to 2020.
yeah, it's kind of insane. One content creator on TikTok, Drew Kohler, who I was trying actually to get him on this week, but we just couldn't get it done in time. So we'll get him on hopefully for next week. Um, he talks about like these, like what's going on in the world, and that's something that's being talked about as well. I mean, we're seeing people on the conservative side of TikTok who live in these blue states, who live in these counties that are shutting down and everything, and they're talking about it. It's just going. It's just not good right now,
No.
and it's just kind of insanity. And honestly, like that was when I left here to go on vacation. That was one of the things I thought about was COVID. Like, I don't I don't want to catch COVID. Like, I'm sorry. Like that's
No.
the last thing I want to do. So
And now
I
we're
mean,
here.
and now we're here, and luckily it kind of the timing of it was like it could have been much worse. Like I could have
Hmm.
been exposing people at my job with it. So, and I luckily I'm alone this week, so I've been pretty quarantined and I've been staying away from people, which is always something I always because I'm considerate. All right, you
Hmm.
know. It's one thing if you're contracting COVID and you're going out in public knowing you have COVID and getting other people sick.
Hmm.
Like when you knowingly do that, I'm
You're a
sorry, but
douche.
you're you're that's an ass. That's just a
You're a douche.
yeah, exactly. Like no, okay, that's the type of people that need to be yelled at because
Hmm.
those are the some of those people. A lot of those conservative people getting sick and going out still. Okay, all right, let's
And this
stop
is
that.
like something that they should have been doing when the flu was going on and stuff. So this is the same people you got annoyed with at work that came to work dying and they're like, "Oh, now you got me sick, jerk."
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, luckily here I'm so like I'm glad like things like work from home exist like became big
Hmm.
because
Or
now it's getting
PTO is more relevant.
yep like a lot of good business ethics got put in place like because I think a lot of these employers had some form of sympathy because themselves they were also having to steer a ship that was very crazy and you had to kind of make methodical decisions.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because it's two conservatives talking about how awesome that workplace benefits have gotten better with PTO, where people used to just rally against that stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna
It's
be.
great.
It's great. I mean, that's if some of the best business people in the world will say if you treat your employees well and like continue get their loyal like have that loyalty to them, they'll have loyalty to you, and you'll just
Yes.
Gary V talks about it like Gary V. People are gonna be like, oh, Gary V. He's really annoying. Yeah. No, I enjoy his videos. I like his content because of how he talks about things and like how to treat employees and everything. Like loyalty is big. So I'm just like, yeah, why not? Like if you can afford it, do it.
Hmm.
So um so here we are 2022 Weston. 2022. This has been
Yay.
it's already I can't believe we're like already 2 years into this whole COVID thing. Like it seems like 2020 lasted for so long, and 2021 was kind of just insane because of
Hmm.
just of all the shit show that was happening. And then now here we are in 2022, and there's one thing that we haven't seen since last year yet is Joe Biden. He hasn't done a press conference in 64 days.
This is like the beginning of the campaign or the presidency all over again.
It it's he's hiding. Obviously, we know he goes back to his home in Delaware, um, which I find very interesting. He said that he would work every day and made all these campaign promises. Um, where is Joe? Is Joe gone? Is he has he finally left the rocker, or his
I'm
brain just
sure
gone?
he'll be back eventually. I I don't like how quiet the administration's about why these extended leaves of absence, especially when you've got so many people on the right side of politics questioning his health. I I'll be straight here. I am not as big of a thumper on the whole he's lost his mind entirely, but I don't think I'm very much in the middle of it. I don't think he's like all there like liberals think, but I don't think he's not aware of anything like a lot of conservatives think. But
Uh,
I do think this does not help his case.
It's actually quite surprising, honestly, what's going on with this administration currently, just because of how good, like, in their campaign and everything, and their press conferences and everything early, and like just even the social media presence, like, of the administration, it is way backed off, especially in just the last few months. Like in November, you could just see it slowly declining in terms of activity. And then you have Joe Biden just making speeches and everything, and talking, and clearly he clearly cannot talk without a teleprompter.
I'm not
Just
going to even go. Yeah, he has
it's
gaps all over the place.
there is, I don't want to say it about our president, but honestly, yes, he's just not there. I
If it
think he's
wasn't for Obama, I'd be with you, but Obama had a really hard time speaking off the cuff and off of teleprompters too, and he was much younger.
But that's why Biden was his VP,
Yes.
because he could talk to reporters. Like, he was very good.
Adam, even back in '08 and all the way through that administration, he was known to say stupid stuff to the press.
But he was a likable person.
I think he was likable because of Obama.
I think that's really it, to be honest. But I don't know. See, they had a candidate for once. They could have just
Dude,
this
I would have
whole
voted for
thing.
Tulsi if they ran her. Straight up, I would have voted
Straight
for
up,
Tulsi.
straight up. I would have too. I would have too. This is the problem. They had a candidate who would have just won them the election and just avoided all this.
Not to mention a minority candidate, a female candidate, and one that was turning right-minded male individuals for the most part, and I do mean she was getting a male audience from the right that are apparently sexist as hell, according to liberals, to want to vote for her. Like, come on.
And she was military.
Yes.
Like, hello?
I don't understand.
That is that 3 out of the 4 check marks are pretty liberal, and that one check mark, a lot of like people, especially like people like me, like will be like, we haven't had a military president in quite a while.
Like, what were they going to lose? Everyone was like, oh, she's 2016's Hillary Clinton. So it wasn't like she was far right.
2016 Hillary Clinton.
I disagree with that sentiment, but
she was more of that classic liberal.
She was a blue dog.
Yeah.
She was going to be another 90s Bill Clinton, minus the whole, I forgot her name, Lewinsky incident. And it would have been fine. We would have had some bad stuff like free trade agreements, but it would have been fine.
Hey, those are things we can disagree on, but I was like, if we really want change, this was it. Like, this was our chance. And no, the Democrats we're going to do that.
I am just hoping she runs as Republican. Like,
I hope so. Well, I hope she runs as a third party, to be honest.
Dude, I would vote for her. I don't care if people say you're throwing your vote away. I would vote for her.
Oh, she would make a very good third party candidate, because she has likability now. Like, she has a net, like she would have such a wide audience at this point if she were to do that, and people would probably be on board at that point, as long as the messaging is like, we're going to do this a neutral way. Like we're going to do this just completely different way, because look at what has happened. Just literally look at what has happened in this country in the last 20 years. It's just, it's insane. And we just need.
How about the last 20 months?
Well, I mean, yeah, but like just 20 years, 20 months doesn't even matter. Just look at how quickly things have changed from there's just, this train is not stopping. And honestly, a third party at this point is like kind of the only route.
I actually the 20 years thing is super interesting because that's right around when the Patriot Act 9/11 happened. And I do think 9/11 and '08 were both huge turning points in how government respected its citizens here. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
20
just
years is actually really good range.
yeah, we have gone completely backwards instead of forwards as a whole. Like we really got to figure something out, and uh, and I guarantee you, there's going to be some conservatives who watch this or listen to this and go, they're the rhino type, okay,
Or
and
the neocons.
yeah, and then there's going to be potentially some liberals who will hear this and see this and go, well, see, woke social policy, blah 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 blah, pronouns, blah blah blah, stuff that I'm like, the government shouldn't have a care in the world about this. That's not its
Mm-hmm.
job. like, like, and that's why a third party should exist, because that way people are now back on equal footing at this point.
Yeah.
And
I kind of feel like to get a third party candidate, I hate. There's a lot of things I don't like about the politics here in Minnesota. But one of them that I really enjoy is how we've run our elections. I don't remember if it's gubernatorial that they do this, but at least with local like mayoral elections, things like that, or your state senators, you get ranked choice for voting. So you get to vote for 3 different candidates. If your first choice doesn't make it through, it goes to your second choice and they get your vote. If that one doesn't go through, then it goes to your third choice. So either way, your voice is getting heard. And if enough people like someone more than everyone else, they're probably going to get in. Even if
yeah,
it's like they don't have as many first choice ballots, but all of a sudden their second and third choice are racking them up. Wow. Third party wins.
yeah, it's, I don't know. It's just Tulsi Gabbard.
The
The
Omni Party will
whole,
never let it happen, though.
yeah, it's just, but so Joe Biden, though, he obviously, the administration's just not going well right now.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me. Oof, that one came out of nowhere. Um, I was just speaking all
You
the same
okay?
time. Yeah,
Dang it.
jeez.
Omicron, people. Omicron. I keep saying Omicron, and I'm pretty sure I know why. Because I was really into Transformers growing up, and the big bad on that show was Unicron.
Hmm. I mean,
So I just add
it's
the
just
end.
Omicron. Omicron.
Omicron. Yeah, just like
Omicron.
Omicron Persei 8 from Futurama.
Exactly.
And Lure comes in with the classic video games and kills us all.
Hmm. Well, just look at look at this administration. There's been a lot of people who I've had close contact with, Kamala and Joe Biden, with COVID. So there's obviously something going on in the White House, and Joe Biden, what was it, about a week and a half ago, said that his advisors now are saying that we need to live with this virus, basically. And Joe Biden hasn't really said anything. Seems like even in the press
Let me get the right
corps,
quote up. You keep going. I'll just look for the quote.
but even the press corps, I don't think they have really been pressing the issue on that either, with Circle Me Back Psaki. If
Okay. Here it is.
I'm like, do you not have the article up?
It took me a second, okay?
Okay.
There is no federal solution. This gets solved at the state level.
Honestly, yeah.
It's been that way the entire time. In fact, to his detriment a little bit. Trump kind of let the states do their own thing with trying to solve COVID, which did lead to some states being able to buy supplies and screwing others out, i.e., California screwing out most of the Midwest.
Yeah.
And so opinions might be there, but it is a state level thing that you have to solve there. Just like Florida's doing something very different than all 40 other 9 states, and it's working for them wonderfully.
So, yeah, it is. And I mean, things are just, I don't know, man. This is just our, like, 2022 is just not where there's got to be a light at the end of this tunnel somewhere.
Nope, it's
No.
just death.
Um,
Indentured servitude. What is that? Conspiracy theory. That's not a conspiracy theory as much as it used to be. Something about you'll own nothing and you'll like it.
yeah, that's on you, man. That's on you. I have no idea. Um, but one of the things that I will say that was kind of eye opening to me like another thing in California. We went into a
Great
restaurant.
reset.
Oh, yeah. Okay. When I was in California, like you could tell that it was, still fairly liberal place. But like there was places that like we would walk in, there was a restaurant and most of the staff wasn't wearing a mask.
Mm.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, that is, I haven't seen that in so long. Like, an employee at a restaurant not wearing a mask. And I was so surprised. And I mean, we were, again, wore our masks pretty much everywhere. Didn't want to get sick, had to wear them on the plane. That was the worst part of it, of the trip, was wearing the freaking masks on an airplane, because it just, you wear them pretty much all day at that point. So, so yeah, that's an interest. That was something that was very interesting. So, so Marjorie Taylor Greene is been censored on Twitter, and she's been permanently suspended on Twitter.
One of her accounts. I don't think it's her. I'm gonna get this wrong, but I will be right somewhat, because it's one of her accounts, and I think it's her campaign account that got permanently banned. I don't think it was her U.S. rep account.
Still,
Yes,
it's still a issue.
it is. Yes, because regardless of what it is, you're silencing a voice of a member of our federation here. Federation. We're going Star Trek, baby. A U.S. representative that has to speak for her district, and all of a sudden her voice is just snipped.
Yep. And then she goes on to Timcast, IRL Timcast, or Tim Pools, and he gets swatted.
The very next day, and she gets death threats left and right.
Yeah. And so, that's kind of an interesting tactic, swatting, for those of you who have never heard of it, or ever heard of the games Counter-Strike Global. Counter-Strike, a lot of streamers on Twitch used to basically get swatted on live streams, and like, it's a despicable act, and it's, in this case, it's politically motivated, probably. Like, why would all of a sudden he get swatted? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
In fact, swatting hit its peak of infamy back in 2017 with the Wichita swatting, which killed Tyler Barris.
Mm-hmm.
It was a terrible thing. A man in Ohio called the police to his residence and said some terrible lies. And they entered in, shot him fatally, and dude went to prison over it.
Mm-hmm. So to those people who do that, please don't. Just be chill. Come on.
It's ridiculous. You're literally playing with someone's life.
Exactly. Joe Rogan's also going back on the offensive about his how CNN covered his COVID-19 video, and
Mhm.
showed a side-by-side comparison of the video he actually took versus the CNN video. And you could definitely tell there was definitely some editing happening on that CNN video.
Didn't they try to make his like eyes look darker and stuff, so he looked
Like
like
they
way
made his
sicker?
skin look like they made his skin like greener just a little bit, and just all these
Mhm.
different things. Like it was just like, wow, that's insanity. But I mean, when does CNN never do dumb shit like this?
Ask Sandman.
What so also Brian Stelter or whatever his name
Stelter.
is, Stelter. He said something very interesting. And I can't remember what he said, and that's the weird thing because I watched this video the other night and I saw this and I was like, oh, I gotta have this on the podcast, and I didn't save the video unfortunately, but it was about living with like maybe we should just start living with COVID again. That was another video. That was what I was gonna say. It was a video of him saying that. Dang it! Oh man, I did not. Why did I not save that, man? Why? What is wrong?
Happens, man. It happens.
It
But
happens.
I'm kind of curious though. Being everyone's getting kicked out of Twitter, should we get a getter for Crunchy?
Should we get a
Uh,
getter?
Should we get a
Probably.
getter? Let's get a getter.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on Getter, people.
You just handle that, sir.
I'll handle it. We're
You'll
gonna be
handle
on
that.
Getter.
So, all right. But yeah, so obviously Getter is a new platform that is coming out that is growing in popularity. Hopefully it doesn't lead to anything bad like Parler did. How badly Parler got kind of thrown at under the bus. And
Despite all of it happening on Facebook,
yeah, despite like a lot of the stuff. I mean, anyway, but obviously not good for Parler, but Getter is the new Parler, isn't it?
it's kind of more like Twitter, which I guess Parler was kind of like Twitter, but yeah.
Probably easier to use. I'm sorry, that first version of Parler was pretty bad. I didn't like that whatsoever.
So I never got onto it because I made an account and the very next day it got shut down.
Oh,
So
I
I
had
never actually experienced it.
I was on it for a little bit, and then like I never even checked it. I just had it to like just see, but most of the time it was just stuff that people were posting on that I could see on Twitter and everywhere else. So I was like,
I was just getting it because I was like, everyone's being insane.
and then all of a sudden, poof, oh
And it was
no,
gone. So it's like, okay, they really went insane.
and it's gone.
It's like that South Park episode, and it's gone. What do you mean it's gone? It's gone. Well,
What do you
here's
mean?
$10 more, and it's gone. What?
So, yeah, it's so we'll get a getter. You handle that. You know what to do. So that's gonna be on you, buddy.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, Weston handles most of the social media stuff because he can, and he does a good job. Except he didn't post on TikTok this week,
My bad.
bruh. How dare he? But
You know
he
what?
also has a TikTok.
I'm super busy. I'm trying my best.
Hey, you're gonna be home for the next couple of days.
That will help actually. That'll help.
So,
It's fun.
And what is your TikTok?
So it's at West Craig. It's going to be Weston Crunchy Conservative.
All right. So follow him on TikTok so you can get we'll be posting hot takes and stuff on his, and doing, hopefully if we can figure out how to clip these podcast videos, we'll get
Or
them
if you
on.
like F1 racing, follow this man over here.
Yeah, if you like Formula One racing, I post that on my TikTok because I can't do politics all the time anymore. It's too much. It is too much on the head, so I got to take a break. So that's why I like Formula One racing. So I talk about that on there. AJT Media is my TikTok handle. Also, it's kind of interesting to see the weather happening across the country. Obviously, it's very cold, and for a lot of places, it got very cold for you. It got warm here for a little bit. It got down.
I mean, long sleeves. Ow. I just hit my desk.
Weston, what are you doing?
But yeah, I got down to like negative, I want to say like 37 wind chill. It was negative 20 actual. It was terrible. Dogs wouldn't even go outside to go pee. I'm just like, you know what? Go out. Oh, you're going upstairs. No. It takes them like 20 minutes to course and be like, just go out real quick. And they go out and do their business. But dang it. I haven't had an accident because of it in the house yet, but I'm very
They were not happy about it, weren't they?
No.
And flights, basically thousands of flights being canceled all across the country.
Because they'd collected ice on the wings and everything.
It's just, it got bad. It was very, very bad. So.
Even the South is like in 20-degree weather and stuff like that. Like stuff you wouldn't see normally.
So, real quickly though, Weston, before we end our podcast here tonight, what are your New Year's resolutions?
I'm on a keto diet because your boy is a big boy. He needs to be a medium-sized big boy, not a big boy.
You probably have broke that already, haven't you?
The scale just says when I step on it. So I'm north of 4. We're gonna get down.
Jeez. Oh man. I guess my New Year's resolution is to read more.
That's a good one.
Just to actually
like
read
that.
more. So, and learn more. Like, just continue to learn, because learning is the best thing you can ever do. And the more you learn, if you learn something every day, you'll just never get tired of learning. And like,
Someone's been listening to Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson, in my opinion, is probably somebody who people just like to shit on just to shit on him. And
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's insane. It's so insane that he gets treated like he gets treated. He doesn't say anything like that super controversial, in my opinion. Like, I'm just like, ever since I heard about him 4 or 5 years ago and how he was just being treated on campuses, and I like listened and watched some of his videos, and like, I'm like, he's actually not saying anything that's just like super outlandish. Like,
Yeah.
that, like, what are you people talking about here? This man's just somebody
Trying
who's
to
just
live his life, dang it.
like, he's living his life and he's also speaking truth. Like, that's all he's doing, and that's not even, it wasn't even that bad. But like,
So
people
Adam,
like,
does this mean you're going back to college? Next episode, Adam goes back to college and eats his words.
no, I'm not going back to college, but like, I want to watch more documentaries and like learn more, read more about other things, and kind of
I've been
like,
thinking about getting Curiosity Stream for that same reason. So
I mean, I'm not a big fan of like those type of documentaries, but like things that like you can learn from, and like it'll pique your interest into something, then you go down a rabbit hole on it, like that kind of thing. Not just sitting through a 5-hour documentary. Okay, just a fudge.
You know,
no.
I've been told, and I hate this thing, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've been told I'm a type 5 on the Enneagram, so that's right up my alley. You have no freaking clue what I'm talking about.
No, not a clue.
Welcome to liberal education, my friend.
You just went right over my head. Like,
welcome to Christian liberal education.
Good old North Central.
It's a good place.
It's a good
also
place.
Quit doxing me.
Dude, I doxed myself.
That's true.
Like,
it was a joke anyway. Next year's New Year's revolution, revolution, oh god. Resolution, don't dox each other. This year, whatever.
all right. Well, shall we, I think that's it. I think that's all we can do. So
yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the week, y'all.
That's it. So, but folks,
Great
thank you so much
y'all.
for watching again. next week, hopefully, we'll have our guest. We'll have a guest next week. We'll talk about just like life for him, like how he views things in this world right now, and what's going on, and also talk like about his content, because his content's very good. So
Mhm.
we'll give him praise for that. So thank you so much, folks, for watching. I'm Wes. Excuse me, I'm not Weston.
Okay,
I'm
first the
Adam.
doxing, now identity theft. Come on, man. Come on,
Uh,
man.
I'm Adam. He's Weston. And you've been watching and listening to the Crunchy Conservative Podcast. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button on YouTube. And we will hopefully have these audios up on Spotify very soon. So thanks for watching and have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.